All right, so we are all done. I'm excited. So we are all done with day 3 of the Wealthy Trustee Workshop. So today we actually established our ministry trust, our 508c1a designated ministry trust, and then we applied for our EIN as a tax exempt organization. And lastly, we became ordained ministers for our ministry trust. So I know that we went through a lot, so I'm going to open up the floor for questions, and I will definitely look in the chat. So I see that Kinata has a question. Kinata.
You said it right today.
I told you I wasn't going to mess up.
Hey, I wanted to ask, yes. I wanted to ask, since we are putting our properties back into the family trust as a beneficiary, does that mean we need to go back under the beneficiary list in the family trust and assign that property to a beneficiary?
Oh, okay. Say that one more time. We're putting our property.
So we have our properties in our Schedule A or B in the ministry
Yeah, we
trust,
have. Right,
and
correct.
the beneficiary is our family trust.
Yes.
So does that mean we can go back to our family trust and go up under the beneficiaries tab and add the property as well as to who it should be assigned to?
No, because the ownership, so you won't do that until it becomes the asset of that trust. So right now the asset belongs to the ministry trust, and it's going to stay with the ministry trust until the ministry trust is dissolved. And then once it's dissolved, then it'll go to the family trust. But you can't list it as a property in the family trust or how it should be disposed of, because it's not an asset yet. So you have to cross
Okay.
that bridge when you get
Yeah.
there.
Now let's say if we die and I don't get to do that. Um, does the protector handle that?
No, your successor
Okay.
trustee does. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Mhm.
even if we die, right? Because we're gonna die. Let's just keep it real. Our trust is gonna outlive us. So the trust is still gonna operate. We have a successor. That's why it's super important, right? Tomorrow is not promised. So appoint somebody to be your successor, because let's just say it's in 20 years that happens, then that person needs to be able to dispose of the assets that are in the trust if the trust is dissolved. But you can continue to renew your trust for however long, right? Your trust could be in operation for 1,000 years. So
Okay.
yeah. So
The
whoever the
successor needs to be 18.
yes, yeah, because they need to
Last
be able.
question.
Yeah, they need to be able to take over tomorrow. So yes, they need to be 18.
Okay. And the last question I had earlier, it was asking us to put the address of the trustee. Is that the trustee's personal address?
No, that could be the address of the trust.
Okay. Now, since the trust was given over a property, can that property be the address of the trust?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, it can. It can serve
Okay.
as the trust address and domicile and residency and all of that stuff.
All
That's a
right.
really good
Thank you. That
question.
was
You're welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's see if I have any questions in the chat. If not, please come off of mute, ask your questions. Can the grantor be a board member? So the grantor can't hold any position within the trust. So no, because then that would give them power to be able to vote and make decisions as far as voting. So no, the grantor can't be anything but the grantor. No other position. Let's see. Roxanne said my membership is still pending. So Aya is going to go into the Facebook and approve anybody that has requested to be a part of the Facebook group. Let's see here. What is the website? Oh, you got the website. I think you got it. Okay. Somebody asked about the recordings. So all of the workshops are being recorded, and you will receive the recordings. So what Aya does is she takes the recordings and she puts them on YouTube unlisted, so no one is able to see it, only people that we disclose it to. So you guys will receive an email from her with the recording link. Is Aya gonna list where we can find the chapters? Let me put that in there. Give me 1 second. I'll go ahead and put that in there. So I'll go ahead and put the State Nonprofit Corporation Act. Let me find it. Any other questions while I'm looking for this document? Let's see, where is it? I know we went through a lot. All right, so it's a PDF document and I just put it in the chat. So please go ahead and download it so that you're able to complete that section within your ministry trust. And I believe there's three different paragraphs where you should document. And then sometimes you'll see it says title and chapter or just chapter. Is it better to make your children successor trustees instead of beneficiaries, so when you pass, they don't have to pay the taxes on all the assets they will inherit, and just make the trust the beneficiary instead of the children? So one, your children can be successor trustees. So beneficiaries can serve as successor trustees. They just cannot be the only beneficiary. Okay. So if you have a beneficiary and they're 18 years old and you want to put them both as the successor and the beneficiary, you can do that. Just make sure that they're not the only beneficiary, because that's going to put them in a jeopardizing situation to where they are now the sole trustee and sole beneficiary. So there has to be other individuals listed as beneficiaries. Okay. And then the second part to that was, is it better to just make the trust the beneficiary instead of the children? You can do that. So that is optional. If you do not want your children to be the beneficiary, then you can create an entity for them, specifically their own individual trust, right? Especially if they're like minors right now. And then you can make that trust the beneficiary versus your children being the beneficiary. So that is optional, and it is up to you if that's what you want to do. But it is a strategy. So I just put the checklist and the asset inventory list. So if you guys know that you're going to be transferring assets into the trust, go ahead and take an inventory of your asset. It is super important for you to know what you have and what you don't have, because that's going to help you to know what you want to put into the trust and what you want to leave out of the trust. I've had so many students where once they've gone through the asset inventory list, they didn't realize that they had 401ks from old employers from 20 years ago, and they actually had money sitting in there that they could roll over into their IUL policies. So you want to keep an inventory of your assets. Is so vitally important. And so start working on that now, because on Friday, we're going to be transferring assets. So you need to have a clear idea of what you're going to put inside of your trust. And with that being said, hold on 1 second. And with that being said, it's just going to help you have this seamless process to where you know what you're going to put in. So if you know that you're going to put in property, then we could be doing it live together to where you're filling out the quit claim deeds, or you're filling out the bill of sales, or the amendments or purchase agreements. Okay, so go ahead and fill that out and have that ready to go and prepped for Friday. So do I have any other questions? It's 9 o'clock and I would love to be on time. I don't want to hold you guys longer than I had to, right? Than I've been doing for the entire week. So let me know if I have any other questions. I know it's a lot of information, and so I'm so glad that we record these workshops. I was actually talking to a student who attended the workshop yesterday, and as soon as Aya dropped the recording, he started going through it and going over the stuff that he missed, because I try to be as timely as possible, and so I have to get it within the 2 hours. But you definitely want to go over the recording again, just to be able to help you retain the information too, because the ministry trust that we just set up is 59 pages. That's a lot. And so we went through all the paragraphs. But for retention purposes, you want to go review that recording again. So it should be available for you. If not tonight, then tomorrow morning. So let me know if there's any other questions. Jerry, do you have a question?
Yes, are you able to email that, the info on the chapters for each state?
Yeah, I will have Aya do it. So she'll send you an email with the State Nonprofit Corporation Act for you guys. Yes, I don't know if you're on a mobile and you're not able to download it, so absolutely. So I will go ahead and send out a blast email with that attachment. Let me see if there's any other questions. How do I put my family Bible in the ministry trust, since I have a family Bible marriage certificate and not one with the state? Does it just go under Schedule B? Yes, all of your assets go under the Schedule B. Yes. So for your family Bible, it's not like registered anywhere or recorded anywhere publicly. So it's a private thing. So all of the assets that are private, where you don't have to do anything with the county or the state or these different corporations and stuff, then you just list it in the Schedule B. So for example, if you have precious metal, right, it's just sitting in your safety deposit box, then you go ahead and you list it in your Schedule B. So that's what you would do for your family Bible. So
One last question, as
yes,
far as
yes,
the ministry certificate of ministry, do we need to get that document sent to us?
yeah, you should have your certificate, yes, and then you can put it in your binder. So remember I was talking about the binder earlier today? You want to have an individual binder for every single trust. So in this program, you set up 3 trusts, right? You set up the business trust, the private family trust, and the ministry trust. So that means that you should have 3 binders where you're going to have it nicely organized, all of your records. And so for your ministry trust, because you have that FBO, you want to put your certificate inside of your binder that's associated with your ministry trust.
Okay, and so what all should we order? Because there's like a few different things. It has a official letter of good standing. I think that's
You just need the certificate.
okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Christina, this
How
is
are you?
Nico.
Hi, Nico. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I just have one quick question.
Yeah.
I was working the last 2 nights, so I missed them and I have to go over all that stuff that Aya just emailed to me.
Okay.
Um, but just a quick question. With my property, it's my primary residence, and so I'm just wondering which trust am I going to be putting that under? Is it going to be this one or is it going to be the private family trust?
So if you want to take advantage of not of being exempt from property taxes, but you have to apply for the exemption. So I don't want you to think that you're automatically exempt. With your ministry trust, you are automatically exempt from only federal taxes. All other taxes, you have to apply for exemption. So if you would like for your home, for you to be exempt from property taxes, then put it in this trust, put it in your ministry trust. If that is not a factor for you, then put it in your private family trust.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're so welcome. So I have a question here. It says, how can I get a transfer of my deed into my trust when there is a statute that says only lawyers can record a mortgage deed? Yeah, so I'm not sure what state you're in, but we're not talking about a mortgage deed. So you have, there's several different types of deeds, right? You have a deed of trust, and then, and usually that's what the mortgage companies use, right? And so the reason why they do that, and they do it either by way of lawyers or title companies. Every single state is different, right? Some states, like I know in North Carolina, only attorneys do it. Here in Florida, title companies do it, right? So it could very well be state specific, okay? So and even county specific, okay? So just keep that in mind. But with what I'm saying, you do need mortgage companies. When you have a mortgage, they use a deed of trust, okay? Because that is going to give them more power and control in the event that they want to foreclose on you. So can a trust apply for a mortgage? Yes, a trust can apply for a mortgage, and you have to qualify for a mortgage with a trust identical to you having to qualify for a mortgage as an individual, as far as having to show like proof of income and stuff like that. Okay, so usually, and it depends on the financial institution. Okay, because you have thousands of companies out here that will issue you mortgages. But generally, you have to show proof of income. And so with a trust, because you don't have pay stubs and everything like that, the way you're going to show proof of income is through your bank statements, okay? So just if that's one of your goals, then be consistent with, with showing deposits into your bank so that you can qualify for a mortgage with your trust. But yeah, a trust can actually purchase a house and can get a mortgage. A trust can also get like a home equity line of credit too. So if you guys end up putting your houses into the trust, and then in the future you want to tap in to a home equity line of credit, you can do that. So the next question is, hold on one second. It says, can more than one property be exempt from the property taxes? So with a 508c1a, only one property, meaning one piece of real estate, can qualify for property tax exemption. So if you have 5 properties, and you only have one trust, then you would only choose one of those 5 properties. So the best thing for you to do is, if you wanted to take advantage of being exempt on all 5, then you would create one ministry trust per property, and then you would be exempt from all 5 on all 5 homes. All right, you're welcome. You're welcome. Roxanne said yes to the home equity line of credit. Yeah, I was talking about that with someone earlier today. So it's a beautiful thing. I was letting them know that they need to get a HELOC in order to pay on some back taxes because the county, if you have back taxes, the county can take your house, right? They can actually auction it off for past due taxes, and you don't want that to happen. And so it's best for you to get a HELOC instead of doing instead of you getting a mortgage on your house, because the mortgage is going to put a lien on your house, and a HELOC is just a line of credit. It's not going to put a lien on your house. So that's why I had told them it's better for you to get a HELOC so that you're able to pay on your back taxes so you don't run the risk of losing your house. Because if you end up defaulting on the HELOC, there's no liens on your property or anything. They're not going to come after your property. They gave you that loan or that line of credit based on the equity in your home. So, yeah, that's a beautiful thing to have. So we do have, let's see, will you show us how to apply for a HELOC? No, it's not a part of the program. So what I recommend is that you go to your local credit union to see if they offer HELOCs. So me, I was doing a HELOC a couple years ago, and I went through Signature Federal, I think it's called Signature Federal Credit Union. I don't know. I still have an account with them. So I recommend credit unions. They usually have better terms with the credit that they lend. So I do have homework for you guys. So if you haven't gotten into the Facebook group, please get into the Facebook group. I put the link to the Facebook group in the chat, and she's going to head over there and approve anybody who is still pending for their membership. And so the homework for tonight is, officially, we are done with setting up all three of our trusts. So Monday, we set up our business trust. Yesterday, we set up our private family trust. And today, we set up our ministry trust. So congratulations. So what I want you to do is I want you to post, because we want to hold you accountable. So I want you to post and put, when do you plan on getting your trust notarized, right? So are you going to get it notarized tomorrow, this weekend, next week? We want to hold you accountable and make sure that you're actually executing on your trust documents and getting them legalized, okay? So that is the homework for tonight. Tomorrow, what we're going to be doing is we're going to meet here on Zoom, 7 p.m. And tomorrow we are going to be establishing business credit for our business trust, okay? So we are going to be actually creating our business profile, if that's something that you want to do. If you want to be able to create business credit with your business trust so that you're able to leverage it and ultimately, be able to purchase assets with that credit, okay? So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to, be establishing business credit. So we're going to go through the criteria. We're going to actually go and set up our profile, and then we're going to apply for our EIN for our business trust. We are also going to do our board meetings. So our board meetings are so vitally important. A lot of people are unaware of that. The board meeting is the actual life of the trust, right? Everything goes down in the board meetings, because even though a trust is a living entity, it can't represent itself. It can't just, get up and start signing on itself, right? It needs a representative, which is you, the trustee, the fiduciary. And so the way that you document, hey, this is what I'm doing on behalf of the trust, is through the board meetings. So that's why they're so vitally important. So tomorrow, we're going to be doing all three of our first board meetings for our three trusts, okay? So we're going to do 3 board meetings tomorrow, and that board meeting is primarily going to consist of the operation of us establishing our trust fund account or or opening up our bank account for our trust. Okay, so that's what we're going to be going over. And then lastly, you're going to determine how much you want to fund your trust fund with. And so with that information, we are going to execute our promissory notes. Okay, so let's just say you decide, hey, I'm going to, put $500 into my trust fund. Well, that $500 came from you. It came from your personal checking account. It came from your W-2 job. It came from your other business, your side hustle, whatever. So that money needs to be paid back to you. So although you're funding the trust fund with the $500, the trust needs to pay you back. And so the way that we're going to document that is by executing a promissory note. So we're going to do that tomorrow as well. Okay. So the information that's going to be vital for you for tomorrow is if you decide to set up your business credit profile, there's some important information that you're going to need. So besides the business trust information, you're going to need an email. So go ahead and set up a Gmail for your business trust. It's optional for you to have a website. So I know we don't have a website yet, so we're going to leave that area blank. And then your address. So if you haven't had the opportunity to get a virtual address, go ahead and set up your virtual address, because we're going to have to put in an address tomorrow when we're setting up our business credit profile. And then a phone number for the business. Okay, so those are some pieces of information that we're going to need live while we're getting all set up. So that is all I have for you guys tonight. Thank you so much for being here in this space, for cultivating this this union that we got going on here. I love it. Don't forget to do the homework on the Facebook group. We're going to head over there and start approving you guys if you're not members as of yet. And then Aya is going to send you guys the email tomorrow morning with the resources that you're going to need for our call tomorrow. So look out for that. And I will see you here tomorrow on Zoom, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.